Hello everyone, this is Mayuri Gami along with Pankti Sandesara, Palak Khatri, Swarali Jadhav and Samruddhi Rangnekar. And our topic is human rights issues faced by women. Every individual has dignity. The principles of human rights were drawn up by human beings as a way of ensuring that the dignity of everyone is properly and equally respected. Human rights have been promoted since 1946 by the United Nations as a part of its mandate. What are human rights? Human rights are basically moral principles or norms that describe certain standards of human behavior and are protected by municipal or international laws. They are applicable everywhere and at every time. Some of the characteristics of human rights are as follows. First, inalienable, that is, one cannot lose them. Second, indivisible, rights cannot be viewed in isolation from each other. Third, interdependent, the enjoyment of one right depends on the enjoyment of many other rights. Fourth, interrelated, no one right is more important than the rest. And fifth, universal, that is, it is applicable to everyone equally. The United Nations General Assembly, held on 10th December 1948 at Paris, France, declared the 30 basic human rights. These rights are also known as the 30 Universal Declaration of Human Rights. In India, taking into consideration the country's large size and population, as well as its diverse culture, human rights is a complicated issue. Hence, on 12 October 1993, under the Protection of Human Rights Ordinance, the National Human Rights Commission of India was constituted. It is responsible for the protection and promotion of human rights. Even though we have the Human Rights Commission, there are so many cases registered every day for the violation of human rights.
Women in India have had a long history of gender disparity and discrimination. They have had to face wraths of certain religious practices, being sexually harassed or abused physically and mentally, and not been able to really speak up about it to preserve their dignity. In order to give women the justice they deserve, along with constitutional rights, we have statutory rights pertaining to women which give them benefits and power to fight against the unfairness. Women's rights are rights and entitlements claimed specially for women. Few examples of women's rights in India are Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005, which is an act to protect women from domestic violence. Dowry Prohibition Act 1961, amended in 1986, is an act to prohibit the giving and taking of dowry, which has been an old practice in India. Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Act 2013 is a legislative act in India that seeks to protect women from sexual harassment at workplace. Maternity Benefit Act 1961, amended 2017, is an act that protects the employment of women for a certain duration before and after her maternity. Preconception and Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques Act 1994, which prevents sex selection before or after the woman conceives. Right to Equal Pay, which refers to requirements of man and woman getting equally paid when working in the same position. And right to zero FIR, which is the right to file an FIR at any nearest police station, irrespective of territorial jurisdiction.
The first case study that we are going to present today is the latest alleged incident where a large section of female students were asked to remove their bras before taking national eligibility cum entrance test. While frisking for the exam, female students in Kerala were in for a shock as they were asked to remove their bras and sit for the exam along with their male counterparts in the same row. About 100 female students were humiliated when they were asked to remove their bras at the metal detection stage at an exam center in Kollam, which caused them severe emotional distress. This happened as the hooks in the innerwear were detected as metals while checking alleged students. Although the dress code states the NEET aspirants are not allowed to wear any metallic object or accessories inside the exam hall, it does not talk about undergarments such as bras, which can include metallic hooks and underwiring. A complaint was filed with the Kotarakka Deputy Superintendent of Police. The parents of a 17-year-old girl had filed a complaint. Police registered the case under IPC Section 354, assault or criminal force to women with intent to outrage her modesty, and IPC Section 509, word, gesture, or act intended to insult the modesty of a woman. It not only created a problem during the exam, but while returning home, they had to cover themselves with either stoles or dupattas. According to students, their undergarments were found dumped together in cartons after the exam. The petitioner pointed out that it was not the first time that such an incident had happened. A similar incident took place in 2017 at Kannur, and 4 teachers of a school were suspended for asking a girl to remove her innerwear before entering the exam hall.
The second case study that we are going to present is on domestic violence and harassment. It is the story of Sonali, a newlywed who is abused by her husband Ravi. Upon Sonali's arrival after marriage, she lived with Ravi, his parents, and his 2 sisters. During this time, Ravi's family was verbally abusive towards Sonali. Her mother-in-law would inappropriately interfere with the couple, not allowing them privacy. For example, the mother-in-law would often come into their bedroom and insist on sleeping between them. Sonali suffered violence from both Ravi as well as her in-laws. Tensions continued to increase, and there was another instance where Sonali had stepped outside of the house for just a moment and was locked out by her mother-in-law. The couple left the family house after this particular incident, after which Ravi's boss advised them to start out on their own. Sonali started working part-time as she never received money from Ravi. Ravi often directed her to purchase all the necessary items for the house like bed, mattress, TV, groceries from her own account. She had limited money and was dependent on her mother for monetary support. Sonali was becoming increasingly scared of Ravi's erratic behavior. Suffering from verbal, physical, financial, and sexual abuse at the hands of her husband had become a frequent affair. After Ravi was fired from his job, he assaulted her again, but this time she called the police, where Ravi was charged under the IPC Section 354A of sexual harassment and Section 498A of domestic violence. Sonali is now safe in receipt of a substantial financial settlement and a restraining order from the family court.
The government has undertaken certain initiatives to counter sexual harassment and protect women. The electronic complaint box, that is the SHE box, has been launched by the government where women, irrespective of their work status, to raise their voice against sexual harassment at workplace. Once a complaint is submitted to the SHE box, it is directly sent to the authority concerned to take action into the matter. A mechanism will be put in place to regularly monitor the action taken on the complaints. The other initiatives taken by the central government include that of setting up the Nirbhaya Fund for women's safety and security projects, for which the Ministry of Women and Children is responsible. Along with this, there is the 181 helpline, which is an emergency response system, has also been operationalized in states and union territories since 2018-19. The Pan-India Women Helpline helps in the dispatch of local resources for the rescue of women from situations of distress. There are also one-stop centers for women that have endured violence have been established with psychosocial and mental health care needs that women in distress may need for support. And also Meri Saheli, under which the security of lady passengers that are travelling by train is ensured by a dedicated Mahila officers team. There are certain initiatives taken by the state governments as well. The applications like Aparajita is online, Kavalan SOS app for women, Durga Shakti app, etc. can help the women to call for help in situations of danger by alerting the police stations and monitoring the activities. Some other programs are that of the Nirbhaya Squad, winning squad, she teams, etc. in many other states.
Thank you for watching.